From WBBZ-TV Sports, it's time to Beat the Champ. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Peck and Sue Novoitsky.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Beat the Champ, week number 3 here at the Rapids Bowling Center in Niagara Falls. And based on what we've seen through the first 2 weeks, you have a suggestion for a new name for the show.
Yeah, beat Kevin Bienko. That's kind of what it's turning into here. But that's what Beat the Champ was made on. You know, it was made on great bowling. It was made on a champion coming forward, and it just being a waiting and see who can beat him, and I think we've got that here.
Yeah, if you haven't been following things, Kevin Bienko is on a 10-match winning streak. He has swept the first 2 weeks here at the Rapids Bowling Center, and if he figures out a way to sweep week number 3, not only will that be the first time it's ever happened, but he'll automatically vault himself to the top of the win column in the year and a half of the show.
Well, just put on his list of accomplishments this year, right? Because it's been a good year for him.
Yeah, you working on that list? You got that list is growing, huh?
It's growing, and it's full of strikes. That's all I can say.
It most certainly is. So it's been an amazing story, an amazing run. You are not going to want to miss Kevin Bienko at work. Let's get rolling. And the first guy to try to end the Kevin Bienko streak is that gentleman right there, Jeremy Zimmerman, a familiar face here on Beat the Champ. He's making his 5th appearance on the show, an overall record of 1 win and 3 losses. So he is first up to try to stop the amazing 10-match winning streak of Kevin Bienko. And we know Jeremy's a good bowler, and he has turned in some good performances before. Let's see if he can do it here at the Rapids Bowling Center. First throw leaves the 2-pin.
Oh, I think it's a 5-pin he left.
Oh, is it the 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, in this case, I think he had a little jitters there because his swing kind of got away from him, and he pulled it in front of him. But you know, got that first shot out, and Jeremy just loves bowling on the show.
He does. He does. He may be the guy who loves being on this show more than anybody. So, and it's hard to say that when Kevin Bienko has been on this show as much as he has been lately. But here it is, our first look of the week at Kevin Bienko, his 5th show appearance. All of them have come in the last 2 months, and of course, all part of the amazing 10-match winning streak that has eclipsed the previous record of consecutive wins. And again, if Kevin winds up sweeping this week, he will have the most overall wins on Beat the Champ. It's been going for a year and a half. He's only been on his 2nd month.
Right. Well, what he's accomplished is amazing. And we know from experience that these lanes have been bowled on for a while today. So he's going to be pushed in. He's going to see him moving even deeper on the lane. And what's that going to do to his carry and ball reaction? So it's all a mystery right now.
You saw the Facebook and Twitter ways to stay in touch with the show. And again, to be able to track all the outstanding achievements and the records and things like that that have been set and may soon be set by Kevin Bienko is to follow us on social media at Beat the Champ TV, and of course like us on the Facebook page. So the last time we saw Jeremy Zimmerman was last month at actually 2 months ago at Brad Angelo Lanes. And previous to that, he came up with his first Beat the Champ win up at Manor 2. So Jeremy's, this will be the 3rd time in the last 5 months that we've seen him on the show.
So Jeremy's approach to the pocket is much different than Kevin's. Jeremy is throwing it as straight as he possibly can, and he's just going at the pins as opposed to as far away from them as he can get. And he's trying to keep it simple, but he's going to have to be accurate because he's playing a little part of the lane that's a little bit dangerous. So you've seen he's gone high. He went high here. He's got a little adjustment to do. He's not going to be able to pull it. There's not a lot of oil to hold the ball off. Yeah,
34 years old, as you saw, from Lockport, New York. A carpet installer is the full-time profession for Jeremy Zimmerman. 226 average, bowls regularly up at Island Lanes in Grand Island. We're headed there in a couple of months for a month-long stay on Beat the Champ. Outstanding youth high school bowler as well was Jeremy. And there's his first strike.
Similar to Chuck Jagosinski that we saw last week, Jeremy starts off to the right and drifts to the left, and that will create maybe a little issues with his consistency as well, because he does have a pretty big drift.
And you can see how far to the left that Kevin Bienko begins his approach. And I think he keeps moving even farther to the left as we are already in our third week of competition here. I think he's moving even more to the left.
Well, sure. He's absolutely going to be forced into moving more to the left. The problem is on the right lane, he's going to be running into that ball return. And there's a couple options.
Well, he actually tucked up in front of it,
Right.
and that's something that we'll show you the next time he's over on 28.
Exactly.
Pretty soon he'll be bowling out of Jeremy Zimmerman's lap over here on lane 27.
Okay, so we found that lane hook up a little for him. That one snapped up a little high for him. But he's got all the room in the world to move on 27, which is 28. I've seen guys have to shorten their approaches to 3 steps and stand in front of the ball return. So, I mean, it can be done.
You got to look at Janelle Sabin and the Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard. We'll keep you up to date on all of our scoring throughout the course of the day. And now Jeremy Zimmerman moves to the 4th frame here. Well, as we talked about in week 1 and obviously a little bit more in week 2, this is a modified house oil pattern, which has presented some challenges for the guys and kept normal human being bowlers with their scores down a little bit. Not necessarily Kevin, because his scores have been amazing, but what's the challenge that the guys are looking at here, particularly as this has started to break down as we are into our 7th match?
Well, that's true. Even at a house shot now, we'd have been broken down and everybody would have been forced inside. But the oil is a little strippy, and there's not as much concentration in the middle as they'd be accustomed to. So let's see if Jeremy is kind of going right to left. He doesn't have that puddle of oil to keep his ball from going high. So you saw he went left of the head pin on that one and got lucky and carried the strike. But he's really going to want to keep this ball going longer down the lane, straighter up the boards, and not so much right to left.
Long, slow approach for Jeremy Zimmerman, 5th frame. Almost got it. Leaves the 4-pin.
But he's still within 2 pins of Kevin Bienko. And
Hanging in there. Hanging in there.
That's an accomplishment in itself.
2 strikes and 2 spares for each of the guys so far in the first 4. This will be another spare for Zimmerman. So
this feels like a good time to take a short break. We'll be right back with more action on Beat the Champ. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. Let's get back to the action here on WBBZ-TV.
I'm here on Beat the Champ with Jeremy Zimmerman, one of our favorites around here because you really love it when you make the show and you're really fun to watch. So what can we see out of you today?
Well, today is a totally new experience. Somehow I managed to make the top 24, both great, and then we backdoored the top 9. So today we're going to try not to go 1 and out.
So you backdoored the top 9?
Yeah, I guess that's how you would say it. I had to spare in the 10th frame to make it, and I made it, luckily.
Well, we've seen a lot of success on this show for people who manage to sneak their way in. So, and I know that you enjoy it so much. So, you're going to bring your child here today?
He will be here. He'll be here right before the show starts, and he's my good luck charm. Hopefully today we can win for him.
Okay, well, we know he's a good luck charm. So, good luck today, and I hope that it works for you.
Thank you.
all right, so here's Bianco now in the 8th frame. Good hook, right in the pocket, and a strike.
Okay, well, this match is in Jeremy's hands right now. He's put himself in a position to, he's in the driver's seat, but he needs to keep doing what he's doing.
Those 2 strikes, 6 and 7 in a row, have put him there. So this is the 8th frame now for Jeremy Zimmerman, and not often that we say that it's someone other than Kevin Bienko who's in that driver's seat. But
Well, it's 9 pins, and there's 3 frames to go. So he's still got work to do, but he kept himself in this very well.
Jeremy Zimmerman, the only junior bowler in Niagara County with 2 300s in the same set. He did that at age 15.
Also a good shot.
Oh, just didn't get that messenger pin to fly over and take out the 10. Kind of spun right around it.
Yeah, he threw that good. He kept that on line, didn't get it in, kept it going down the boards. This is just pin deflection here.
Striking and sparing, that's what both guys are doing in this match. Crucial spare here in the 8th frame for Jeremy Zimmerman. Good ball, good spare.
Good cover.
And don't forget, check on those social media sites like our Facebook page for all the details about qualifying for our trip back here to the Rapids Bowling Center. And don't forget, when we hit that top 24, one spot reserved for our top qualifying female bowler, and the #1 bowler in that top 24 wins television from Dirt Cheap TV, valued at $500. Chuck Jagosinski took that home from this month's stop here at the Rapids Bowling Center. So that's every month we're going to give that away.
8 pins separating these two bowlers. Jeremy still has a small lead, but Kevin's got the strike up, so it's back up in his hands again.
Ninth frame.
Well, it was not a bad shot. He didn't like it, but he had it going in the right direction. I thought it was a good shot off his hands.
He's got that direction down pretty good. He's got that right spot on the lanes to get him where he needs to be. So Jeremy Zimmerman putting the pressure on Kevin Bienko. He's had nothing but pressure the last couple of weeks here, but he has answered and responded to it all. And now look how far up on the lanes in front of the ball return he is now.
That is a challenge in itself right there.
7 pin holds.
That is a terrible break. That was a good shot. That's just pin deflection. So he knows what this means. This means that the match is in Jeremy's hands. No matter what he does, Jeremy can get up in the 10th and still win this match. So all he can do is make a spare and try to double over on lane 27.
So could this be the end of the 10-match winning streak? It's as close as it's been in a while. The 10 in a row, already a Beat the Champ show record for consecutive wins. Kevin Bienko has yet to lose on Beat the Champ. He's 10-0, but that may be in jeopardy in this match. 10th frame now for Bianco. Needs to keep the heat and the pressure on Jeremy Zimmerman.
Wow.
Is there a part of this that fatigue is starting to come into play a little bit?
No, absolutely not. What's happening out here is how far inside Kevin is being pushed. He is playing so deep on the lane that when you get into that area, your carry percentage is a lot lower than when you're to the right, just by nature of how much the ball is turning over and how much time it has to hit the pins. I mean, he is so close to the head pin now when his ball's making its turn. The carry percentage does go down, and that's where he is. I mean, he's crossing left of there.
Big strike to wrap it up for Kevin Bienko. So it's a 207 on the board for Bienko, way below his average of about 230, 235 in this 10-match winning streak.
And that's just a matter of carry, because he hasn't missed the pocket. He hasn't made one bad shot. He didn't ever get away from the pocket. It just, his angle now is so deep that it just cuts into his carry.
All right, so what does Jeremy Zimmerman need to win this match here in the 10th frame?
Jeremy needs a spare.
Just a spare. So is this the guy who ends the longest streak in Beat the Champ show history? At least recent history.
He needs a spare and 2 pins, to be exact.
Jeremy Zimmerman on the edge, on the brink of a big upset. And he gets the strike.
He knows that was really high, up high on the head pin.
Look at the reaction. Look at the little bit of the emotion setting in for Jeremy Zimmerman. He's an emotional bowler, we know that.
I'm sure that you go into this and you just think it's going to be next to impossible to beat, you know, a man that's on a streak like Kevin was.
Well, normally leaving a 7-10 in the 10th frame might make you feel pretty bad, but it doesn't have any impact on Jeremy Zimmerman's victory here over
right.
Kevin Bienko, so he can relax and not worry about it. What a win for Jeremy Zimmerman. What an upset. What a huge victory. A pump of the fist and a nice shake of the hands there as Jeremy Zimmerman knocks off Kevin Bienko with a big clutch performance here to start our week number 3 at the Rapids Bowling Center, 224 to 207. Zimmerman moves on. We'll talk to Kevin Bienko when we return right after this. Well, the amazing 10-match winning streak for Kevin Bienko comes to an end at the hands of Jeremy Zimmerman. But I want you to reflect a little bit on what these last couple of weeks have been like for you. It has been a treat for all of us to watch you bowl. Just take me through how you were able to do something that no one else has ever done on this show.
Oh, man. I mean, it was awesome to bowl, first of all. I was hoping to win a couple matches. I didn't imagine winning 10. But, I mean, it was a lot of fun. Winning 10... it was definitely a lot of ball choice, lane play that helped me out, I think.
And you got pushed, particularly in last week's show, by everybody that you bowled against. So there was no easy outs here, was there?
No, I had to bowl my best the whole way.
Well, it was a pleasure to watch you, and certainly we expect to see a lot more of you. Jake, you got one of the heavier envelopes you're ever going to dish out.
I got a very, very thick envelope for you. That's great bowling, Kevin.
Thanks,
good job.
Thanks.
All right, so Kevin Bienko gave all of us a thrill. I'm sure there are more to come, but Jeremy Zimmerman's got at least one more match to go. He's on his own chance to start a streak. We'll have match number 2 from the Rapids Bowling Center right after this.
I'm here at Rapids for Beat the Champ with Bill Stoddard. We've seen you once before, haven't seen you in a little while. What have you been doing the last year since we saw you last? Or is July just your good month to bowl good?
I think July is my good month to bowl good. I've been just hanging out, working, you know, summertime, working on my tan as everybody back home can see, and I hope everybody enjoys it. No comments on Facebook, boys and girls.
All right, so this is a big month. We've got Kevin Bienko coming up, who's on this massive winning streak. Do you have any strategy in mind?
Hope it has a bad game. But the kid's very talented. I look forward to the challenge if he's there when I get there, just like I was ready for Matt White.
He brings on the best. What can you say? Good luck bowling.
Thank you, Sue.
Match number 2. Wait, is something wrong? Wait, there's no Kevin Bienko up there. Something's off here.
No, he's still here. He's
All
just
right,
back
he's here
with us.
anyway. It's Jeremy Zimmerman. It's Jeremy Zimmerman and Bill Stoddard, and we have Kevin Bienko with us here to provide some guest analysis for this match and get a chance to talk to Kevin a little bit about the outstanding achievements. But here's Bill Stoddard to start things off. Second appearance on Beat the Champ for the native of Rochester, New York. He is 1-1, and the last time that we saw Bill Stoddard, he did something somewhat significant in itself, which was he ended what at the time was the record winning streak on Beat the Champ, which was Matt White's 6th consecutive match streak.
So these guys can stand up here and talk about what it felt like.
Yes, they can. The 2 of the more significant moments in ending winning streaks come from Jeremy and Bill Stoddard. And Kevin, you know, we kid about it now that unfortunately your streak is over and you are not up there. But as I said to you, you know, before, it was an amazing thing to watch, and I think every bowler in Western New York appreciated what you were able to do. Do you know you're in the middle of something like that, or are you just so locked in, throw to throw, frame to frame?
I honestly didn't think about it at all. I just went out there and bowled.
So how often do you have to stand in front of the ball return on right lanes?
Not as often as I do here. I mean, it seems like every time I bowl here, well, just the 2 times, but I have. So I don't always get that far left, but it depends generally how many games you bowl. Eventually I'll migrate that far.
Did that affect anything that you were able to do in that last match? Because you were dramatically farther to the left than we'd seen you?
I mean, I moved a little on 28, that just at the end when I got in front of the ball return. I had been trying to not get in front of it, but eventually I had to right at the end there, so.
But that level, where you're playing on the lane, being so deep, it does seem to affect carry because of just being that deep on the lane.
I think if I had won that match, I definitely would have switched balls the next game, but it was too late in the game to switch, so I just had to go with what I had and hope the pins fell, and they did not, but that's how it goes sometimes.
2 strikes to start with for Jeremy Zimmerman. Bill Stoddard with a spare in the first comes up to the lanes for frame number 2.
So Bill's playing him a little closer to the way you played him.
Yeah, which I would expect. He's a higher rev rate than Jeremy, so I would expect him to be further left.
Yeah, and it's amazing what the rev rates, what difference it makes because Jeremy's able to stand so far to the right and make it look like the third arrow is a place that you could play when.
I mean, maybe it was playable. I think for me it was better to be left.
Oh yeah, once you got into there, you just created a nice little spot for
definitely
yourself.
had more area. There's a little friction right. There's a little oil left to me, so I had a little hold. I was able to take advantage of it for a while there.
And that's what we're all looking for, right?
Absolutely. That's what you need.
Sue and I talked a little bit during the run there, Kevin, about how much your experience in winning the Obenauer Masters has helped you in a setting like this, but just overall in your game right now. I mean, it's such a grueling tournament, no chance to let up. And oh, by the way, usually the guy on the other side of the lane is one of the better guys in Western New York. How much has that elevated your game?
I definitely think it's elevated my game a lot. Definitely gave me a lot of confidence. Beating Brad twice was, I didn't expect that. And to be able to do that, I'm like, wow, I'm as good as these guys now. So definitely gave me a lot of confidence, which I think is one of the most important things.
Sue, I'll ask this question to you. Is there a moment in every bowler's career where you have to convince yourself that you are as good as the best guys?
Well, I think when you're young and coming up the ranks, there is that moment when you start, it's one thing to compete against the people that have come before you, because we all have a healthy respect for the people that came before us. You know, it's like I mentioned mentors earlier, and it's important for the younger bowler to not disregard the bowlers that came before them because they have a wealth of information, and then the student surpasses the teacher and you start winning and beating them, and it's just the natural way things go.
4 in a row for Jeremy Zimmerman to start this match off. Whatever he did to you and whatever you might have did to him in that last match has got him locked in here.
I guess so. I mean, it's working.
I think Jeremy put so much emphasis on competing against you that he's almost, not that Bill is not a great competitor, because he is, and he's playing the lanes exactly the way you did, but I think he was just so pent up on meeting you with the winning streak that this is almost like he's almost relaxed now.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks that way.
Do you have any aspirations yourself to compete on a PBA level?
I mean, maybe a couple regionals here or there, but I don't think that I want to go out there full time.
No.
No. I mean,
why not? I'm sure a lot of people after watching this would go, boy, he could be the next great one here.
I mean, at this point, the PBA is kind of, I don't want to say too bad things about it, but I mean, there aren't a lot of tournaments. Like, there used to be tournaments constantly, and so, I don't know. It's just not something. I'd rather get a job and work and take the guaranteed income.
Jobs are overrated. You know.
I know. I know.
Well,
Except for this job. This is a great job.
Let's have this conversation in 5 years and see how you feel.
Tough break for Bill on that last one. Looked like he was going to get the spin around pin to take care of the strike, and instead he winds up missing the spare.
We're going to be back with more Beat the Champ bowling action in just a minute. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. Let's get back to the action here on WBBZ-TV.
But what are kind of some of the next levels that you want to compete at?
I mean, I'm pretty content with what I do now, and maybe just get better is all. Like, I just keep wanting to get better. And I mean, I bowl a lot of weekend stuff. Gonna try and bowl a few regionals here and there, but I mean, I'm pretty content with that, honestly. But like I said, just trying to keep getting better is the main goal.
Right, so I guess the regionals would be the next step, and then if you had a tremendous amount of success at that, then you'd have to look at it, you know, if you wanted to take it any further than that.
Yeah, definitely.
But you're right, you're at the level where, you know, it's hard to watch you bowl and think about you as the defending Masters champion. And even though we've just got a chance to meet you, it's hard to like wrap your head around the fact that you're 21 years old, because you really do carry yourself well. You don't let your emotions get away from you. And, you know, there's just an air of professionalism about you that seems like you would be older than 21.
I appreciate that.
Are you generally not an emotional guy per se in your personality, or have you figured out how to shift that when you're bowling?
I try and stay pretty stoic when I bowl, but I think overall I'm not the most emotional guy out there, so I think it definitely helps when you're bowling.
You know, and I've bowled with Liz for a number of years now, and I've bowled, you know, with the same group of girls, and the theory that I've adopted over the years is that from a distance from somewhere else in the bowling center, I don't want someone to be able to determine whether I'm bowling good or whether I'm bowling bad, because that can change on a dime. So. And I've learned that somewhat from watching Liz. You can't tell when Liz is bowling good or bad. And
she's definitely stoic. She's right when you said Liz, I was like, she never shows any emotion whatsoever.
No.
Until after the tournament's over.
Right. After bowling with her for a couple years, we can tell a little bit by her body language, but you know, to the naked eye, no. And you know, it really helps to not let things get away from you. And I think that's probably good.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I think that. Sorry, I can't help but not talk when people are bowling.
I know, that's what we do.
That's what we do, exactly.
What I was gonna say is, I think that sometimes, like I can get emotional on the highs, but I try when things are going wrong to stay very stoic and try, you know, make a good next shot, because that's the most. Can't change what just happened, so the next shot's definitely the most important.
There's a look at the Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard. Good strike for Bill Stoddard in the 8th. He saw that near spare pickup for Jeremy in the 8th frame that he winds up leaving open. So another strike, 2 in a row for Bill Stoddard.
Yep, that was a good one.
Kevin mentioned it. Qualifying is coming up. We're all set for classic lanes in 2 weeks. But after that, we're back here at the Rapids Bowling Center. And don't forget the top 24, and the #1 qualifier in that top 24 wins the television from Dirt Cheap TV, valued at $500. That's the only thing you don't have on your Beat the Champ resume is the free TV. So you got something to shoot for.
Winning the TV is tough. I mean, I've bowled a couple times, but I'm like, all right, I gotta go win this TV, and then, I mean, you make the cut, you don't want to bowl again, you know?
It's got that added challenge, though, of like some more you got to think about. Like you're trying to make a show, and now you got to think about the TV too.
Trying to lead.
9th frame
but I mean,
strike.
for a $30 entry fee.
Oh, you can't beat it.
I mean, to have a TV as one of the prizes.
Good strike in the 9th for Jeremy Zimmerman. He has bowled very well as he opened with 5 consecutive strikes. Just that little hiccup in the 8th with the open frame as you look at the Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard.
You need the first one? Is that what I saw? I can't see the scoreboard. First one, 9 spare?
No, he needs just a spare.
Oh, just a spare. Oh, I thought that was.
All right, so as we wait for Jeremy with a chance to finish this out.
Well, he needs spare in 9, just so.
Right.
Yeah. So
I'm told I'm supposed to ask you, did you give 110% during the 10-match winning streak?
Definitely give 110%.
You want to tell us why that's an inside joke?
Well, apparently my sister has been telling me during the interviews to say that I gave 110%, and that's why I won, so I guess.
You know, it's technically impossible to give 110%, right? You know that, don't you?
Mathematically, yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's not exactly what Jeremy wanted to finish this match off, is it?
No, it changes things a bit.
Opens the door.
So a rather interesting 7-10, 6-7-10 split here.
Makeable. Tough.
It is makeable.
Tough to make, but makeable.
That's you talking.
No, he's shooting a 10-pin, going away, that's all.
I only got the count.
So Jeremy Zimmerman with the 2:15 on the board as a final score here as Bill Stoddard strolls up.
Makes him double because he got the 2.
He still has to double.
So that's what's on the line here for Bill with a chance to win this. Got the first one.
Yeah, that was a great shot. One more.
That's a lot of loft he's got going on there, doesn't he?
He always lofts it a lot, I've realized.
I was going to ask you guys about that. Zarcone does somewhat the same thing too, where the ball winds up kind of plopping onto the lanes, for lack of a better word.
Well, the heads are one of the very front of the lane is one of the challenges that all bowlers face, and the more you set it short, the more of a challenge you're going to have, because then you've got to negotiate those heads. He's just eliminating that and throwing it right over the head, so he doesn't have to deal with whatever's going on in the front of the lane.
Needs a strike here.
Just a little left. Nope.
Didn't get it.
As I think has been said, the ball can't hook in the air, so.
Good point. Good. He's got a job lined up here, doesn't he? He's already got his lingo down. He's got his anecdotes down. He's been around enough of you crazy bowlers to have all these little sayings ready to go.
Oh, almost made it. Wouldn't have mattered, but.
So it's Jeremy Zimmerman who's on a Bianco-like training streak of 2 in a row as he wins again in this one. He's on his way.
Got to start somewhere.
That's right. So we'll talk to Bill and get his take on this one and get you ready for Jeremy's third match of the day when we return to the Rapids Bowling Center. 215 to 208 is our final score as Jeremy Zimmerman narrowly defeats Bill Stoddard. You had some trouble with the grip. That affected you on those two spare balls.
Yeah, my tape rolled up on me. It stuck. I didn't know if I had time to change it. I didn't want to delay the telecast at all. Next time I'll ask.
Yeah, well, and then really those kind of wound up being what determined this match, didn't it?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, well, good battle.
You live and learn.
Yeah, I'll say. And the next thing you'll know for the next time. Good job by Bill Stoddard here. Jake, what do you got for him?
I got some money for you. It was still great bowling, Bill.
Pleasure, man.
All right,
so
a tough, narrow defeat for Bill, but Jeremy Zimmerman going for the weekly sweep when we come back to Beat the Champ in Niagara Falls.
I'm here with Jeff Pohlman, not to be confused with Joe Pohlman. So how do you guys figure out which Pohlman is making the show? Is this like a family dinner?
Yeah, we try to take turns, and you know, we were both here for qualifying, but you know, sometimes when one of us is on, the other one struggles, and that's what happened for qualifying. I was on, and Joe struggled, and here I am.
So is there like a rivalry? Is there anything on the line for who goes further?
Yeah, I just want to win more games than him, that's all.
All right, well, brotherly love. We'll see what happens. Good luck today.
All right, thanks.
Jeremy Zimmerman goes for 3 in a row in match number 3. His opponent will be Jeff Pohlman, but it's Jeremy that will start things off here after the day started with his victory over Kevin Bienko, 224-207, then 215-208 over Bill Stoddard, and Jeremy is trying to get the sweep of the week here. And speaking of Kevin Bienko, still joining us here as our guest analyst following his amazing 10 in a row streak that was ended by Jeremy earlier in the show. You know, and it's so, like any sport, success is a product of confidence, and you can just see Jeremy's confidence skyrocketing after the win over you in this case.
He's definitely loosened up a bit since the first match.
I didn't think that was possible to get Jeremy to loosen up a little bit, any more than he already is. But you can see it. It's just the way he's carrying himself, Sue. I mean, that's just a sign of success.
In fact, that was probably one of the best shots that he's thrown, and that's bowling for you.
Yeah, very unfortunate on the 7th.
You know, when he's chatty out there, then things are going well for Jeremy, right?
Yeah, it must be.
He's talking to everybody. There isn't anybody in the place he doesn't want to talk to. Here's Jeff Pohlman. He has been a regular here on Beat the Champ. This is his 5th show appearance, 1 win and 4 losses. We saw him back in February at Transit Lanes, and saw his brother Joe bowl last month at Alley Brandt Lanes, and brother Joe holds a little place of significance, particularly here at Rapids. He was the winner of the first week of the first show here at the Rapids Bowling Center back in January of 2016, Joe Pullman. That's when you were like still in grade school or something,
yeah, it was
right? Back
forever
in 2016,
ago, forever.
Right?
I was like 12.
Paul has a motto. It's prepare like it's the Super Bowl.
That's
he
it.
He keeps very, very good stats.
Definitely keeps true to his motto.
Hey, you're sitting next to a guy who bowls like it's the World Championship PBA Masters every time, so why would we not want to do the same thing?
I mean, I may as well. I'm here anyways. May as well give it 110%.
There you go. Nice.
Worked it in there.
See, look, you're already dropping it in even without being prompted. See, we've turned him into a broadcaster already now, too. He's been here for 2 matches, and he's already in line for both of our jobs.
Well, what we want to talk about that Kevin can definitely allude to is that they're allowed to practice on a practice pair before they come to the TV pair. But now that we're all the way through the day and the TV pair has been bowled on quite a bit, there's a significant difference between what Jeff got an opportunity to practice on and what he's now bowling on. So we're almost watching him adjust to these different lane conditions because he was all lined up on the practice pair. So you can speak to what a challenge that is.
Yeah, definitely. I thought the practice pairs were drastically different. I thought bowled on 19 and 20, and I thought that there was way more hook right. And on the TV pair, if you get one right, it is really tight down lane. And a couple weeks ago, I left 2 A10s, 2 pins, and so they played vastly different for me.
Right. Well, all this bowling on is going to create. Not only is it going to change the oil pattern, but where people play. I mean, we've seen people play to the right. You played so deep, it's going to shift the oil around and come up with an entirely new pattern.
Yeah, definitely. The first thing to change about the oil pattern is the oil gets carried down lane. So there's definitely some oil carried down lane to the right. And that's why I was so far left. I was trying to avoid that.
Is there something you have to teach yourself when you're busy bowling on the practice lanes to tell yourself either good or bad, it may not necessarily mean anything when you move over to the competition lanes?
Yeah, for me, I had to take the practice pair and assume they were going to be close because I hadn't had the chance to qualify. But, I mean, you can't count on that 100%. You have to come over here and adapt no matter what.
Right, and sometimes it's just a matter of looking at the practice pair as a means to get loose and not a means of lining up.
Definitely.
And you just know what your balls are doing. You throw your equipment, make sure it feels good, make sure the tape is right, make sure you're loose, and then you got to come over here and quickly adjust to what's happening on this lane.
Absolutely.
You saw the vitals on Jeremy, 34 years old, from Lockport. He has been bowling for 27 of those 34 years. A regular at a number of games up here in Niagara County, and right now a regular with a couple of strikes on the scoreboard in the last 2 frames for Jeremy Zimmerman.
The action will continue on Beat the Champ in just a minute. Welcome back to Beat the Champ.
Sixth frame for Jeff Pohlman.
There
Nice
we
throw,
go.
his nicest to the game. First strike for Pullman.
Yeah, that's a difficult situation to be in there when you're trying to figure it out on the fly.
Yeah, especially if you've been standing over on the practice pair for a while, throwing one ball, and that ball looks really good. Then you come over here and it looks bad, and I mean, you're not really sure what to do. You committed to that ball, and it's not good.
Oh, what a nice
Jeremy
shot.
Zimmerman with a nice shot. Part of the benefit of you winning the Obenauer Masters is you get that trip to the USBC Masters. How excited are you for that? How interesting is that challenge going to be for you?
Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. That's going to be my first big event on that scale that I bowled. So hopefully we do well down there.
Vegas this year?
No, it's in Syracuse.
What?
It's in Syracuse next year.
Really?
Of course,
Yeah.
I win the 1 year. It's not in Vegas.
You missed the chance to go to Vegas and you're going to drive down the thruway to Syracuse?
That's okay.
Keeps your travel expenses down.
Exactly.
It does. That's true. Do they do part of that at the convention center in Syracuse?
I'm not sure how they do it. Do you know?
I bowled the last time it was in Syracuse, the men's event, and they did it in the On Center.
Yeah, that's their convention center down. That's
Yeah.
where their minor league hockey team plays.
Okay, so they just build
They
lanes there?
build a bowling center
Got it.
inside of it.
That's also where they're doing nationals, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Do you bowl nationals in national tournament?
Yeah, we bowled this year. I went down with the same group of guys: Brad, Andrew Herbert, Chad Me.
Oh,
There's
you
a whole
always,
list.
that's always successful, right? You always do well.
We bowled really good this year. Better than I had hoped for, so I was really pleased with how that went.
Something else you're going to have to learn to adapt to your game, to not being in a bowling center and learning how to bowl in those conditions. What's different about that for a bowler?
Well, I'm not sure how the USBCs work, but the WIBCs, the women's USBCs, I should say, changes their surface every other year. And I'm going to assume that the USBC adjusts their surface as well. So one year they'll use a Brunswick synthetic, and the next year they'll use an AMF synthetic. And honestly, they do react differently, even though they're both synthetic lanes. They react differently.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe they use the same surface in the last 2 years. I could be wrong. I honestly don't remember because the year before last was the first year I'd bowled it. So.
But you know, the challenges are the same. I mean, to me, once the first time you get used to, you know, behind you it looks different, and you know, you're elevated a little bit. Your name's up.
The high ceilings. Like the ceilings are
high,
very low, and there the ceilings are. I don't even know how high. They're huge.
Yeah, because they're warehouses, basically warehouse effect. But I don't know. I always feel like there's an elite feeling to going to that tournament in that big venue. It just feels like you're doing something special.
Yeah, it's definitely an awesome experience.
That's the 8th frame throw for Jeremy Zimmerman, who had been working 2 strikes in a row and has a sizable lead in this match.
And Jeremy actually has a little room. He seemed to have got that one in a little bit, and it held up.
I saw he got a couple left that have held line and struck. The thing that surprised me is when he would get them to the right, they seem to still kick the 10 out, so he seems to still carry, which is definitely
So he's
the big
created
thing.
himself a little room there.
Yeah, indeed.
And a nice spare pickup, and Jeremy Zimmerman, after having only won once previously on Beat the Champ in his 4 other show appearances, is in position right now to sweep the week and win 3 in a row and bring another streak into next month's competition at Classic Lanes 2 weeks from today. 190 to 137, the final score as Jeremy Zimmerman continues the sweep of the week with 3 in a row. Jeff, you kind of ran into a hiccup there in the middle of the match.
Yeah, I lost my look. The ball was picking up probably a couple feet earlier than I wanted it to, and when there's a challenging shot like this, you're just so used to repeating the same shot over and over again, and that's what I did. I just kept repeating misses over and over again.
All right, well, Jake, make him feel better.
I got a little bit of money for you, Jeff. It's still
Appreciate
good having you. Great
Right.
bowling.
All right, Sue, maybe the unlikely hero of Beat the Champ over there.
Well, we know you love bowling here, and we know you always have fun with it, but how did it feel to take down the reigning champion, Kevin Bienko?
I'm speechless. No, I'm never speechless. He's a phenomenal bowler, and I had an opening. I took advantage of it. I don't even know what to say. The kid's 21, and he's on top of the bowling world right now. To beat him is just enormous. So, thank you. Mason did it.
Well, you kept it going too. You won 2 more matches after that, so it was a great performance today, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Can I say one thing? Of course. Mike Wallowitz, I'm coming for you.
Another honorable mention on Beat the Champ.
There you go. little shout out, a little challenge to our buddy Mike Malwitz, and we'll see if he's ready to respond, because we know Jeremy is coming back in 2 weeks to Classic Lane. Sue and I will wrap up Niagara Falls' 3rd week here when we return on Beat the Champ. Well, I think we were all a little surprised when Jeremy Zimmerman beat Kevin Bienko to end the amazing streak, but it all counts as no lack of entertainment on this show.
Well, we're going to have to leave the name of the show Beat the Champ. But you're right, there was no lack of entertainment. We saw great bowling, and we saw a genuine love of the sport through Jeremy Zimmerman,
Yes.
and he's always fun to watch.
Yeah, and Janelle, he is as expressive as any bowler we
Yeah.
have on the show. Must be fun for you.
Definitely. I mean, he is the next Mike Malwitz with all that energy. I'm afraid he's going to run over to me and try doing something, but that's Mike's job.
Did you compliment Jeremy with that or not? I'm not sure.
Kind of. Compliment sandwich.
That's all right. So we know we're going to get Jeremy Zimmerman back in 2 weeks when we move on to Classic Lanes, but we've got one more week here at the Rapids Bowling Center. It's going to be a best of Beat the Champ show, so we will see you for that next week as Beat the Champ continues from the Rapids Bowling Center in Niagara Falls. Good night, everybody.